Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Alessi. I'm the Executive Director of the Tesla Science Center, and I want to thank everyone for joining us here today. This is a tribute to Tesla. Today is the 78th anniversary of Tesla's death, and we decided to have our annual drive every year, starting this year, end today. So it's been a successful drive, and we're very grateful for all of your support. Today, during the tribute, we're going to start off with a video on Tesla's innovation that was done by filmmaker Joseph Sikorski. And then we're going to share the eulogy given on Nikola Tesla by then Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia back in 1943. And it'll be the first time I've seen it as well, but I have heard a great deal about it and looking forward to listening to it firsthand. And then finally, we're going to hear a performance by Mano Divina and the Divine Hand Ensemble. Again, thank you for joining us. Please enjoy.
He was a spirit of rogue, experimental rebellion, disruptive of established existing systems with a goal of replacing them with something better. He locked out conventional thinking and was a provocative force to logical presumption. When we think of the great innovators, we see rare individuals who dare to think differently. But how often do we consider how they are alike? What common threads might they share? What connecting wisdom and traits unite them? In the essence of the innovator, we see intellectual freedom, passion, curiosity, but mostly a vision of unwavering boldness, a talent, a courage that one can only admire. Nikola Tesla embodied these daring qualities. He was a kind of alternative scientific artist, like a physics punk rocker. He had a different point of view. To start, Tesla saw himself not as an inventor, but as a discoverer. One that reveals solutions already in the framework of existence, to harness the wheelwork of nature, uncovering natural secrets rather than construction built on its limitations. Such an improvisational spirit of exploration led to the concepts of radio, radar, X-rays, robotics, remote control, and even early computer technology. In fact, his teleautomaton patent, in which a prototype was demonstrated at Madison Square Garden in 1898, it utilized patents for radio, wireless remote control, and a type of early logic circuit known as the nano A&D gate, which is sort of the key to binary code. Outside the garden, it was horse and buggy technology. Inside, there was a remote-controlled boat under intelligent control. Onlookers thought it was a trick and that Tesla had a trained monkey inside it. That's how unimaginable the concept was. But of all his innovations, it was his induction motor, a brushless engine that could efficiently run on alternate current electricity that revolutionized the status quo, propelling the world into an age of progress. Without it, most likely electric power would have been a rare luxury, only accessible to the wealthy. This motor, born of Tesla's fertile and untarnished imagination, was previously considered impossible by the scientific community, one not achievable through the laws of physics. One of his instructors called the idea a perpetual motion machine, something that could never exist. Tesla hacked through the perceived limitations of science and nature to move the world forward. He was a rogue scientist, and like many innovators, there's a certain mystique they possess. His unconventional application of physical principles created a sense of unease in the world around him. He was a genius with an amazing talent that you'd hope would be used for benevolence. One whose brilliance could reward the world with free wireless energy, or punish it with a death ray or earthquake machine. Fortunately for the world, Tesla played the role of a sort of white hat hacker, an insider for good. And in a way, one could describe his mission at Wardenclyffe as the ultimate hack, a way to disrupt the entire global system of energy and information to help the world evolve, to point out the flaws of an antiquated system and spark a movement of positive change, to battle the titans of power and usurp their control to place it into the hands of the people. At Wardenclyffe, he had promised J.P. Morgan a radio tower, but his covert plans were much more ambitious. Free wireless power to any place on the globe. With a 187-foot tower, He would send energy not through the air as his contemporaries were attempting, but through the Earth itself. Such a radical endeavor was far more expensive than Morgan's radio tower. As many innovators experience, new ideas sometimes bring a backlash, mockery, or even hatred. But they are compelled to move forward. They are undeterred by great risk. Sometimes they are unsuccessful. Or perhaps, sometimes the world just isn't ready yet. Many innovators see perceived failure as merely steps paving the way to greatness. Such failures wouldn't prevent Tesla from trying, and in some cases, triumphing over the accepted scientific dogma. For many, Tesla remains a true inspiration, an intellectual rebel, a scientific agitator, a fighter who violated the most respected preconceived notions of what was deemed possible. A slap in the face to a narrow-minded scientific consensus, one without vision or held back through a lack of experimental imagination. Tesla's spontaneous spirit of discovery joins him with the coolest radical trailblazers on the planet who continue to launch an insurrection movement against the accepted societal norms. Like the visionaries of today, Tesla was so ahead of his time. Those who share an unyielding genius, and like the pioneers before them, possess an inner resolution, which leads to evolution, to create revolution. It is the binding spirit of innovation, the divergent differences that unite and move the world forward, giving form to the dreams of visionaries past.
And now the mayor of the city of New York, the Honorable F.H. LaGuardia.
I've been honored to be asked to read a tribute to a great American, Nikola Tesla, written by another great American, Louis Adamy. Both natives of what we know as Yugoslavia, but coming from different parts. They were friends. On last Thursday night, here in our city of New York, a man who was 87 years of age died in his humble hotel room. His name was Nikola Tesla. He died in poverty, but he was one of the most useful and successful men who ever lived. His achievements were great and are becoming greater as time goes on. Nikola Tesla could have amassed hundreds of millions of dollars, could have become the richest man in the country, in the world, if he wished for riches. He didn't. He did not care for anything, did not have time for anything that spelled success for too many people. Nikola Tesla was a great humanitarian, a pure scientific genius, a poet in science. He did extraordinary, amazing, miraculous things during his life among us. He did them simply to serve mankind. And for his services, he did not want anything. Money, he didn't care for it. Honor, Who was anybody to honor anybody else? That was his attitude. Gratitude, he did not expect or demand. Nikola Tesla did not care to be paid for anything he did for the human race. He simply functioned according to his natural genius, which came to him in the land of his birth, Yugoslavia, as a son of his mother. Now, this extraordinary man is dead, or so they say. The papers on Friday told he died. His body was found still on the bed in his little hotel room in this city. And the newspapers published obituaries and editorials summarizing his life and work, and they told of his personal habits and eccentricities. Tesla, they say, is dead. In a funeral parlor in this city, there is all that is left of his person. The funeral services will be held on next Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock in the Cathedral of St. John. People will come, yes, many people from all walks of life, humble, unknown people, and people who are famous, scientists and industrialists and others. And then will be all right. It is the customary thing to do. But Tesla is not dead. Tesla is not really dead. Only his poor, wasted body has been stilled. The important part of Tesla lives in his achievement, which is great, almost beyond calculation, an integral part of our civilization, of our daily lives, of our current war effort. Today, we on this program do not mourn Tesla. We do not honor him, for we know that Nikola Tesla would not care for that. Why mourn Tesla? His life is a triumph. We are in the studio today, just thinking of Tesla, talking of him among ourselves and to you who are listening to us. And we are playing some music and singing a few songs which we would think Nikola Tesla would have liked. We celebrate his achievement on Earth, his great triumph, which is our triumph, the triumph of all the people of the world. We celebrate his contributions to our life, to the sum total of civilization and human potentialities in America and everywhere, which will be as permanent as man himself. We are talking about Nikola Tesla, celebrating the fact that we belong to the same species to which he belonged while he was among us. He is a feather in the cap of the whole human race, and Yugoslavia and America can be proud of him. A few years ago, a fellow scientist of Tesla, Dr. A.B. Barron, also an American, wrote about him in his book on the induction motor, the motor which owes its existence to Tesla, and which now is in the very center of nearly everything that moves on wheels in this country. Mr. Barron said, were we to eliminate from our industrial world the result of Tesla's work, the wheels of industry would cease to turn, and our electric trains and cars would stop. Our towns would be dark, our mills and factories dead and idle. So far-reaching is his work that it has become the warp and woof of industry. Should Tesla's work be suddenly withdrawn, darkness would prevail, and we would slump into barbarism. So it is true. Tesla is not dead. He is very much alive among us. Among us is a triumph of his life, his achievement, which we celebrate here. We do not honor him. We are gathered here to feel this triumph of one human life and to share our feelings with you all.